Welcome to Politics NY with Skye Behind the Curtain, where we speak with community leaders and those who are running for office about who they are and what they stand for. And right now, I have the pleasure of being with Rebecca Sanin. She is the candidate for Town of Huntington Supervisor. And should she win, she'd be the first female Democratic Town of Huntington Supervisor. So welcome to the show, Rebecca.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I know you just got the Newsday endorsement. That's the new news. So congratulations on that. And why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you?
Sure, it's my pleasure to. So I am a lifelong public servant. I'm currently the president and CEO of a nonprofit organization on Long Island that is an umbrella for the region. So I've led the health and human services response to COVID-19 regionally. I led the 2020 census effort to make sure we got the federal dollars that we deserve for the next 10 years regionally and address issues like health equity, environmental justice, hunger relief, making sure people have access to their basic needs and can live their best lives. And prior to that, I was an assistant deputy county executive in Suffolk County, where I co-led the performance management team, which is all about making government work better for people, making sure that we're streamlining, making sure that we're building efficiencies, making sure that there's a culture of continuous improvement so workers and the public can be positive about what's to come and work towards a brighter vision for our future. And my career has been in public service in the nonprofit and government space exclusively. I have a Juris Doctor from Fordham University, where I was a Stein Scholar, which means being trained to use the law to advance public interest. And I did my master's in developmental psychology at Columbia University, where I was a fellow at the National Center for Children and Families. I love this town. And I very strongly believe Huntington residents deserve better. And that's why I'm running today.
So when did you decide to run for office, and what inspired, jumping into the political arena? Because I know this is your first time running for public office.
It is my first time running, and it's a great question. I decided in February to run for office. In January, what we witnessed nationally on 6 really impacted me personally, made me realize how important it is that experienced seasoned leaders who are also empathic step up and run for leadership roles. And I think that, that is such an important step in really sort of repairing some of the challenges that we're facing locally and quite frankly, nationally at this moment in history.
Any specific issue, Rebecca, that you want to champion bringing into your role should you win this town supervisor?
There's a number of different issues. I mean, certainly access to town government is something that I hear on every door that I knock on. Folks do not hear back from town government. There's just a complete lack of access. And so really building a 311 system that enables folks to have strong communication with their local town government and enables us to track data to make sure that we are looking at what the emerging issues are and what the trends are, and that we're following through on getting back to residents and solving their problems. That's really important to me. The building department is broken and needs to be fixed. It takes way too long to get a permit. Making sure that we're addressing climate change at the local level, right? Making sure that we're thinking about environmental policies that make sense, that are smart, and employing an environmental lens, because our water quality issues are significant. We're seeing 100-year storms much more frequent now, and disaster mitigation, disaster planning, it goes hand in hand with taking care of our environment. And so I'm very passionate about that as well.
Definitely. Now, pivoting away from politics and government for a second, Rebecca, would you tell us something maybe fun or interesting about yourself that maybe people don't know?
Fun or interesting? Well, I could tell you a few things, but I would say something that people don't know unless you know me is how much I love the holidays and how much fun I have with the holidays. And so, as a funny little story, when I called my mom to tell her that I was going to be running for Huntington Town Supervisor, aside from the initial response, the second thing she said to me was, "Well, Huntington has never seen a Halloween or a Christmas or a holiday season like they will see if you are elected." And that's because I do believe, listen, and it's something that's true in terms of how I lead as well. I do believe that there's a lot of challenges we have to face and a lot of things that we go through. And it's important to take every moment we can to celebrate our wins, to celebrate our togetherness, and to harness that mindset. So that's one thing.
Definitely bringing a little bit of joy into life.
A little bit of joy. It's very important.
So Rebecca Sanin, it's a pleasure to meet you here. Good luck in your race for Huntington Town Supervisor, and thanks for being part of Politics NY with Skye.